If you ever start waking up at the exact same time, every single night, don't ignore it. And whatever you do, don't look outside. Because once you do, it starts looking back. It didn't begin as fear. At first, it was just a pattern. Something I noticed, but didn't question. Every night, without fail, I would wake up at exactly 2:17 a.m. Not gradually, not naturally. It felt sudden, like something pulled me out of sleep, as if my mind was being forced awake against my will. The first few nights, I checked the time, then went back to sleep. 2:17 every single time. I told myself it was coincidence, stress, a weird habit of my body, something harmless, something explainable. But there was one thing I couldn't explain: the silence. Every time I woke up at 2:17, the world felt different. Not just quiet, empty, heavy, like the entire environment had paused. No distant cars, no wind, no animals. Even the smallest background noises seemed missing. It wasn't peaceful. It felt wrong, like the night itself was holding its breath. On the fourth night, I made the mistake. I looked outside. Across the street, under a dim, flickering streetlight, there was a man, standing completely still, facing my house. At first, my brain tried to rationalize it. A passerby, someone waiting, a neighbor, anything normal. But something about him didn't fit. He wasn't shifting his weight. He wasn't checking his phone. He wasn't moving at all, just standing, perfectly still. Then, slowly, too slowly, he raised his arm and waved. It wasn't a casual gesture. It wasn't random. It was controlled, precise, intentional, like it had been rehearsed, like he knew exactly when I would look and exactly how to respond. I froze. My body didn't react the way it should have. No panic, no immediate movement, just stillness. As if something in me was processing danger too late. I forced myself to turn away and lie down, but sleep never came that night, not even close. The next night, 2:17 a.m. again, but this time I was already awake before it happened. I had been waiting, watching the clock, feeling that same uneasy pressure building inside me as the seconds approached. 2:16, 2:17. I turned my head instantly, and my chest tightened. He was still there, same position, same location, but now the streetlight above him had stabilized. No flicker, no movement, and that made him easier to see. Too easy. His face was wrong. Not monstrous in the obvious sense, not distorted in an extreme way, but subtly incorrect, too smooth, too expressionless, like a mask designed by someone who had never seen a human face up close. His eyes didn't wander, didn't blink. They were fixed, locked directly onto my window, on me. And then he waved again, slower than before, more deliberate, more controlled, almost patient. I stepped back from the window immediately. My breathing became uneven. My heart was pounding harder than it ever had. I didn't understand why something so simple felt so threatening. By the third night, I stopped trying to sleep. I couldn't risk it. Instead, I stayed awake, waiting, watching the clock, listening to the silence. That same unnatural silence. 2:15, 2:16, 2:17. I looked instantly, and everything in me went cold. He was closer, not across the street anymore, not on the road. He was standing at the edge of my yard, just a short distance from my house, close enough that I could feel his presence, even through the window. He hadn't changed position. He hadn't moved randomly. He had progressed, step by step, night by night, like he was following a system, a routine. And then that same slow wave. But this time, I noticed something worse. His arm didn't move naturally. It didn't follow smooth human motion. It bent in segments that didn't align properly, like joints that weren't designed for that movement, like something attempting to imitate a human gesture without fully understanding how. That realization made my stomach drop, because it meant one thing. This wasn't random. This wasn't a person wandering. This was behavior, intentional behavior. The next day, I told someone. I described everything. The time, the man, the waving, the pattern. They dismissed it, laughed it off, said I needed rest, said I was overthinking. So I decided to document it. That night, I set up my phone facing the window, recording. No interruptions, no distractions. I didn't look, not once. I stayed in bed, eyes closed, forcing myself not to react. When 2:17 arrived, I felt it, that same shift in the atmosphere. that same unnatural silence, that same pressure in the air. I resisted the urge to look. I stayed still, waiting for morning. When I finally checked the recording, there was nothing. No man, no movement, just an empty street. But I knew what I saw, and more importantly, I realized something I couldn't ignore. It doesn't appear on camera. Or rather, it doesn't appear unless I acknowledge it. On the 5th night, everything changed. I woke up again, 2:17 a.m., but this time, something felt immediately wrong. The streetlight outside was off, completely. No flicker, no glow, just darkness. There was no visible figure, no silhouette, no movement, nothing. For a brief moment, I felt relief. I thought maybe it was over. Maybe whatever this was had stopped. Then I heard it, inside my house, a faint sound, dragging, slow, deliberate, like something moving carefully, trying not to be detected. My body froze instantly. I didn't breathe. I didn't move. I just listened. Another sound followed. A creak from the hallway. Not loud, not sudden, just enough to confirm something was there, right outside my room. I reached for my phone, turned on the flashlight. My hands were shaking uncontrollably. The beam wobbled as I aimed it at the door. It was slightly open. I was certain I had closed it. Absolutely certain. Then the door moved. Slowly. Just a small shift at first, then a little more, like something was gently pushing it from the other side. And then I saw a hand, long fingers, pale skin stretched tight, holding the edge of the door. Then the face appeared. It was him, but up close, it was far worse. The expression wasn't natural. The smile wasn't human. It stretched too far, too wide, like it had been forced into place. Its eyes didn't react. No blinking, no focus shift, just a fixed stare, locked directly onto me. And then, slowly, it raised its hand and waved. I couldn't move. I couldn't react. My entire body refused to obey. It stepped into the room. Its movement was unstable, jerky, unnatural, like it was being guided rather than walking, still waving, over and over again, repetitive, mechanical, unending. Then suddenly, it stopped. Its hand lowered, its head tilted slightly, and in a voice that didn't match its appearance, it whispered, "I only needed you to look once." A pause. Then it smiled wider, but you kept looking every night. My phone light flickered, then died. Total darkness, but I could still hear it right beside me, breathing, slow, heavy. I don't remember what happened after that. I woke up the next morning on the floor. My door was closed. Everything looked exactly as it had before, but something inside me had changed, because now I don't wait for 2:17. Sometimes I wake up earlier, and when I do, I can feel it, standing somewhere in the room, watching me. And just before I fall asleep, no matter how hard I try not to, I see it in the darkness, barely visible, standing still and raising its hand, slowly, and waving.